it is, but like just sitting on the floor casually talking about books is just like the... Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie, and today we are going to be doing a small book haul. I noticed that I tend to collect quite a few books, but I never end up sharing them with you as like a big collective haul. So I'm hoping to do more in the future, but I thought I would tell you some of the books I picked up recently, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for the first group of books I want to talk about are the library books that I currently have checked out. The first two books I want to talk about are actually part of a secret TBR video. Let me know if you can guess any guesses down in the comments. But the first one I want to talk about is Lisa Jewell's Girls in the Garden. So this one was described as like an underrated but one of Lisa Jewell's like better books. So that one kind of intrigued me a little bit. And I do love like Richie neighborhoods, neighbors who are lying and like cheating and like their secrets and everything like that. So I think this one has to do with a mother who moves into this area and she has two children, and something happens to either one of her children or one of the children in the neighborhood. And yeah, I guess it's like, who can you really trust? So I'm super excited about this one. Next one I want to talk about is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I really enjoyed The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I really liked the writing style of Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I've heard this one is formatted differently. So that's what really, I don't know, like makes me a little bit nervous going into this one. I've heard this one is best to listen to the audiobook because it is a full cast. I love listening to audiobooks while reading them physically. So I am really intrigued on this one. I think this one has to do with like, obviously Daisy Jones, and she kind of joins this band called the Six. And I guess it's their story from, you know, when they started to their fandom. And I didn't realize I like this, but I do like following like fictional famous people for some reason, like actual like following them, not just a story about a superstar. I don't know, I think with this one being like in like an interview format, I'm like super excited to get to this one. And yeah, so this one is also part of that secret TBR. The next one I want to talk about is a recommendation from Gabby over at Gabby Reads. She did her Winterween readathon. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in that readathon just due to other obligations. I do remember on her very first day she was raving about the winter people, and this one just sounds super good. I think this would be great for a nice snowy day like today, and I am super intrigued about this. This one has a little bit more of a historical fiction like setting, but it also has like a paranormal ghost element to it. So I don't know, sounds interesting. I've heard her and several other people rave about this book, so I'm hoping to get to this one very shortly. Also, I'm taking a recommendation from my friend Jacqueline. She recently read Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This is a nonfiction memoir. I don't typically read nonfiction, not on purpose. It's just I just love reading fiction that I just never actually set time for nonfiction. And Jacqueline has been raving about all the nonfiction memoirs she's been reading. This one, I think if you liked The Night Swim, you'll like this one, because this one has to do with like rape or like assault victim, and it's an actual true story obviously, so I am curious to get to this one shortly. There is another book that I have on hold. I should be able to pick it up either today or possibly Tuesday, but it is Never Let You Go by Chevy Stevens. My friend Haley over at Haley Hughes, her channel, she just recently hauled this book, and she said it has like behind closed door vibes, which that's something me and her share. We love behind closed doors. So she said this one kind of has those vibes. Based on the Goodreads page, it says 11 years ago, Lindsay Nash escaped into the night with her young daughter and left an abusive relationship. Her ex-husband Andrew was sent to jail, and Lindsay started over in a new life. Now, Lindsay is older and wiser with her own business and a teenage daughter who needs her more than ever. When Andrew is finally released from prison, Lindsay believes she has cut all ties and left her past behind. But she gets the sense that someone is watching her, tracking her every move. Her new boyfriend is threatened, her home is invaded, and her daughter is shadowed. Lindsay is convinced it's her ex-husband, even though he claims he's a different person. But has he really changed? Is the one who wants her dead closer home than she thought? So I need to read this one real soon because I love I don't love abusive relationships, but I love reading about like how women like overcome those and things like that, like behind closed doors. So I would really, really like to read this one shortly. The next two I want to talk about are actually books that I got in my book of the month box this recently. I did pick up the January pick, which is The Dating Plan. I think this one sounded super cute. It has like a fake dating trope, which I think I like. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to like gather like good books to read during the week of Valentine's Day. So if you have any recommendations, definitely let me know. If I'm not mistaken, this one has to do with like fake dating, but also trying to get out of like an arranged marriage, which is kind of cool. I've never read anything about that. So I think this would be such a cute romance pick. And if you don't know, purple's my favorite color. So also, as an add-on, I picked up The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I've already read. The one I read was actually a library copy, and I loved it so much that I wanted my own copy. So, yeah, I just had to have it. And I really wanted the Book of the Month edition. So, all right, I actually have a few more that I want to talk about. These are actually gifts or books that I've purchased myself. The first one I want to talk about is The Nesting by C.J. Cook. This one was actually a prize I won in my book club. So thank you to everyone in my book club that gifted me this book. But this one has like turn of the key elements, which I did not like that one. But I think it's just because it's by Ruth Ware. Me and Ruth Ware's writing just doesn't get along. But this one has to do with like a woman who is down on her luck. I think she might be even suicidal, and she overhears someone else talking about this nannying position, and so she actually applies for the position and gets it and has to live with these children out, I guess, in the middle of nowhere based on the cover. But then like weird spooky stuff happens, so I'm all for it. The next one I want to talk about was actually a gift from my niece for Christmas, and it is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, which I absolutely loved. The one I read was actually a library copy, so I actually now have my own copy. I guess I should stop like checking out books from the library for Colleen Hoover because I'm just going to buy them regardless. But I really love this one, and I'm so happy to have my own copy as well. So thank you, Jules. This was so appreciated. The next one I actually bought for myself just because a lot of the girls in my Naughty or Nice challenge group were talking about this book, and I saw a few other booktubers rave about it, and I just had to have it. And is They Never Learn by Elaine Fargo. And I've been told this is like a female version of Dexter, which I love Dexter. I love like the whole premise of like a serial killer killing other serial killers. Our main character actually goes after really bad people, not just serial killers, but like, you know, some pretty shitty people. And I think this also has like the setting at like a college campus. So I'm getting like How to Get Away with Murder vibes. So I'm super excited to get to this one very shortly. The next one I'm super excited to talk about because it is actually Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. And I am actually going to be buddy reading this with Gwen and Jacqueline. They actually have a podcast called Talk Bookish to Me. And they reached out to me asking me if I would like to be a co-host for one of their episodes. And we're going to buddy read this one. This one is a young adult, which I typically don't go for, but this one has kind of like a thriller aspect to it. I'm not 100% sure, but this cover is just gorgeous for one. I love yellow. So, but I think this one has to do with like fame or like a singer who kind of gets into like a sticky situation. So I'm not 100% sure what this one is about, but to kind of have like the best experience when going into this book for my thoughts on the podcast, I kind of want to go into this one a little bit more blindly. I believe the episode where we talk about this book will actually be in the middle of February. I will put the dates and times and everything on the screen down in the description, as well as links. So definitely check it out so that way you guys can, you know, hear our thoughts on this one. Super excited. And the last one I want to talk about is The Wrong Family by Taryn Fisher. I am really hesitant about reading this one, but I am so intrigued that I just had to have it. I don't know. The Wives by Taryn Fisher just wasn't that great. Like, it had the potential to be a 5-star book, but it just fell very flat. And then I've heard about this one. This one sounds really interesting. I like Taryn Fisher's ideas for thrillers, but they just don't execute very well. So I am excited to get to this one. I have heard not so much great things about this one, so I don't know. I'm going to try to be a little bit more open-minded about it, so hopefully this will live up to its promise. Alright guys, that is everything for this video. Definitely let me know what your most recent pick was down in the comments, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any other future videos. I try to put up a video at least 1 to 2 times a week, and I do have an Instagram. All that stuff is linked in the description, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!